Hello everyone, in this video I will be talking about Zitha Kwinika and what he brings to the Kaizer Chiefs team. First of all, I want to talk about his attitude problems. Yes, people can take a small thing, a minor thing, and make it a big deal. What am I talking about when I say attitude issues? Because remember when we were playing against Stellenbosch, how we considered the goal. So Jablong obviously loses the ball, and then all of a sudden Stellenbosch is going to score. Zitha tells Khune not to come out because he was about to close down the guy. So he wanted Khune to basically deal with it one-on-one if the ball was squared to him. Khune aphume paleni and then kudlala square ball and then open net. It's a goal. So kube naleyo nto ukuthi hawu Khune bengahlali ngane epaleni, there was a clash, blah blah blah. That's the story of the past. Now, against SuperSport, something almost similar happened, except that this time, Ibola was with Zitha, and then Zitha ended up conceding a corner instead of passing to Khune because the angle simply was not allowing or did not allow Zitha to pass the ball to Khune. Now, Khune shouts at Zitha after that incident, and then Kwinika obviously responds with whatever that he said. Now, people on Twitter are now saying, hey, Zitha should just let Khune lead him, blah, blah, blah. Okuqala Njabulo Ngcobo is better than him. This boy has attitude problems. He should be benched. Guys, if you've played football, you know ukuthi teammates can disagree. Teammates can disagree. It happens. It's naturally. I feel like we zoom in too much into issues that are not even there, and we make them bigger issues than they actually are. It's not even an issue. Zitha admires Khune. Like in an interview that he made like 5 September or 4 September, he was talking about how Khune is the best in the country and in the continent, how he has seen it all and he has experienced. Obviously, this guy admires Khune. It's just that sometimes as teammates, you can argue. It happens, and we should stop making izinto kugcina sekuba ne-division eteamini just because of a small thing. Because Zitha is on Twitter, Khune is on Twitter, they will obviously see these things, and whether you like it or not, our subconscious mind can take izinto that are not there and amplify them. Ukuthi next time Zitha clashes with Khune groundini, maybe Khune or Zitha sekuzoba khona ukuthi yazi vele bashilo lapho ukuthi akangihloniphi or something like that, and something that was not even supposed to be made a big deal is a big deal. Guys, let's calm down. Let's just calm down. Anyway, what does Zitha bring to the Chiefs? Number one is that he is a natural leader. We see that in how he conducts himself, not only on field but also off the field. We see that in how he carries himself. Indlela khuluma ngayo ukuthi Khune is 36 and maybe 1 more season he leaves the Chiefs. Long term, you will need someone ozoqhubeka with that culture, who's not only going to be a good player for the team but who's also going to be a leader. And having been a product of Kaizer Chiefs, he knows my values at Chiefs, and him coming back to Chiefs after he had left the Chiefs shows that he really does love a team, and he knows the values of the team, and he will continue imparting that knowledge to the players who are also coming up right now. And vele we need that thing a long term ukuthi kube nama leaders a team, and you don't just want abantu ukuthi when they are finally given a responsibility to lead, they don't know how. Because we saw ukuthi, that was my assumption, ukuthi I feel like the captain's armband did not help his performances, so that was it's probably something that we don't want to see happening to other players. Ukuthi once Khune retires or whatever, then someone has to step up, and because that role is so huge, they end up being overwhelmed and not being able to lead the team, and everyone turns against them and say, seyaboza lo ayikho indaba yakhe akahlala ebhenchini, vele he was disrespectful to Khune in the first place, blah blah blah. We don't want to see that. And number two is the fact that he's just a calm player. In the matches that we've seen him play, Uguti, he fits the style of play that we have right now with Chiefs because he's calm. And if you're playing from the back, you need someone who's relaxed, who's able to trap the ball and look around and not panic ukuthi now I'm kicking the ball, which is something that I feel has been a problem for a player like Eric Matoho, who, as much as he can be good in defending aerial balls and some other things, a grounding ukuthi he can provide vibes or whatever, but when it comes to playing the ball from the back, calmness, he lacks it, and because of that you find ukuthi he does not fit with style se Chiefs. And I just want to highlight this ukuthi which is my next point, which I will talk about now. Ukuthi, some people have talked about how he's slow. Obviously, he is slow. He's not as fast as Adamson Dove, for instance. So Udove right now, what he's doing is he's kind of bringing a balance to him, because you have a quick defender and a slower defender. And that is why I think one of the reasons why Udove has come in instead of Ungcobo. With Kwinika and Ungcobo, you have two slow defenders, and when you're playing against pace strikers, then that is not really a balance. That's not the combination that you want to have, because kuzobe kunabantu abawu-2 who are slow. And yesterday I talked about how in anything in life, really, it's not just in football, you need to have pros and cons of anything that you're doing. And if there are more pros than cons, then you look at how can we then make sure we compensate for the cons. And one of the things that you do to compensate for slow players is you find ukuthi positioning yabo must always be correct, because if I'm a slow player, then I know ukuthi positioning yami ne coordination yami with my defensive line is always on point. Because if you are slow and you can't play the offside trap, uzoba nenkinga, because now you have to chase other defenders. If you are slow and you're always not aware of where the strikers are, then you'll have a problem. We have not seen that problem with Kwinika. The only time where we saw a problem was when we were playing against Imaromo Gallants, which some people are now making it seem like that's what he's been doing since the season started. Because if you're looking at the defenders that have played Kaizer Chiefs since the season started, none of them, akekho noyedwa who hasn't made a mistake. We know Stories Kangezana, obviously. We know ukuthi Udove naye towards the end of the game, Super Sport, he was starting to appear shaky. We know obviously against Stellenbosch ukuthi Unjabulo Ngcobo also made a mistake. So it's inevitable good people will make mistakes. But what I want to point out again, ngoba tenkhuluma coordination, is the fact that if your midfielders are not pressing the ball, then they make it hard for you as a defender to position yourself properly. Because igoli kaMakudubela, for instance, uMakudubela wabasebholeni walipasa uNdlondlo, and then he ran past the midfielders, and by the time he's running towards Kwinika, vele there's been a mistake already in midfield. So masekuza kuye, it's just something that's a bit harder to stop. So kwesinye isikhathi it's difficult for defenders to be effective if the people playing ahead of them are not doing their jobs. So it's going to take time, obviously, for all of these things to perfect, or to be perfected, so to say, because ezinye izinto you can see ukuthi they are coming right, but some of them you can see ukuthi okay, this still needs time to work perfectly. And another thing that I will just point out about Kwinika, which is point number 4, is the fact that I think he needs to close down opponents quicker, and that's a problem that maybe we can also blame our midfielders for. Kole Gallants is not the only example of this. Uguti, when an opponent is on the ball, don't give them too much space. Yena ngathi prefers ama one-on-one ukuthi when a person finally comes to him, then he can step up, he can just put his feet or intercept the ball or whatever, or tackle or make a tackle. he's not a person that I've seen going out and winning challenges, but he's more of a person othi mawuza kuye uzomdriblisha, then he can take the ball away from you. So I think he should be more proactive than just reactive. But otherwise, if you look at his overall game, you will see Uguti, he's a complete player. He's calm. He's a leader in the team as well. So I am interested to see and to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed, by the way, this is the perfect time to subscribe. And if you haven't liked, please, as like hinge. Sifike 500 likes. 500 likes. Come on, let's go. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, remember, equals at Pelumoy.